let me start with a question. It'll give me a chance to glance here also. You finished with a really powerful observation, Justice, talking about institutions for collaboration. And these are underappreciated elements of societies that thrive.
Yeah.
And if institutions are needed in one place more than others, it's in emerging frontier developing economies where the gaps and voids are big. And you made a point about, Pass, a very powerful point, that here is an institution that can have impact. What are the other institutions that South Africa needs?
Well, I mean, I've worked in the media all my life, and I think one of the things about the changing nature of the media, for example, is how do we use it for good? How do we use the new ways that we communicate for good? I think, over and above your state institutions, the institutions of democracy that we've built into our constitution and so forth, I think outside of that, strengthening the media, we wouldn't know about so much that's happening, for example, whether it's in crime intelligence, in the police, what we're seeing at the Madlanga Commission. If it wasn't for, a couple of young guys at News 24 and so forth, doing incredible
When you were
work.
popping things up here, flashing through this guy says he can do 80 slides in 20 minutes.
24 minutes.
It took 20, yeah, it's like, but when you were flashing through these slides, and I mean, what a fantastic portfolio of arguments and ideas there, and some lovely, lovely humor. But like Gita whispers to me, she says, thank goodness for press freedom.
It is, and I think it's one of those things that we don't appreciate enough, that the ability to have your Adrian Bassons or your all kinds of people in the media, Mondli Makanya and others who say things that I read and say, the powers that be are going to be angry, and yet they're right. And yet we have the freedom, they feel protected enough to say things that many of us, would shy away from. So I think we need to protect those. We have an amazing...
A quick test. Is South Africa institutionally stronger today than May 2024?
Yes. I think what you're seeing, I think for me, what I'm enjoying and what I'm loving and seeing is that you have an opening of a space that says, I can find allies in places that I couldn't before. So if you're in the police and you want to say, there is corruption in the procurement of safe houses for James Bonds, there is a space for you to actually do it safely. Whereas if you were Babita Deokaran in 2021, it was a closed space because the ANC was master and commander, was all powerful. And so a multi-party democracy gives you the ability to see a future that's not a one-way street. And I think we in that place. The other thing, the other corollary you could make, I guess, is if you go back 10 years and say we had the Hawks, which were in the presidency's pocket. You had all these other institutions. Even the South African Revenue Service would get a call saying, make Adrian's VAT payment today, and it happened. And so today you have an institution led by Edward Kisveta and others, and it looks and feels like an independent, strong institution that does what it needs to do without, hopefully, any political interference. And so I would say over the medium term, I would say those institutions, some of those institutions are working. And I'm hoping that with the FATF, I'm hoping that we'll continue to strengthen some of those without restricting business, but some of those institutions that keep all of us in check continue to work and be strong. Obviously, if they constrain business too much, an organization like PASA or whichever else needs to advocate for its members, but the institution itself must be something that you trust, that I trust, where if we have a dispute, you can go and actually say, he's trying to steal my business. You'd say, I'm trying to steal your business, and we can have...
I mean, that's the definition of institution, right? It's that integrity.
Exactly.
We've got 5 minutes. We've got 5 questions. You're on social media, so you understand 140 characters or less.
Yes. Well, I was hoping for 3 hours.
Let's try and
remember, some of these questions are for you, not mine.
Yeah, I've got mine here.
Okay.
I've got mine here. Most are for you. Justice Minister Tau is saying South Africa is close to a deal with with US. Your opinion?
South Africa may be close to a deal with the US on trade, but there are many, many issues that are chafing at that relationship. The first thing I would say is the continued flirtation of certain South African groupings with the White House, and the fact that those groupings are extremely powerful and want policy change in South Africa and are lobbying in the United States for that change to come through the stick of the United States. So we may get a trade deal that may be slightly better than what we have now, and I hope we do, because if you're a farmer in Limpopo and you're sending oranges or some citrus fruit to the United States, these are tough times now. It changes drastically. And given that AGOA is essentially dead for us and for even Lesotho, which was hit with massive tariffs and then is now at 15%, I think. So I think for South Africa, the deal will be a trade deal with Pakistau and his counterparts in the US, but it doesn't take away what I believe is the incredibly strained relationship between the United States and South Africa. And I think the relationship between South Africa...
I can pick up on another question if I just drop in here. Albert Matongela says, what can South Africa do to normalize that relationship?
I think we need some practical steps. The first one is that you cannot have our embassy in Washington, D.C. standing empty. It's incredible that yes, we may...
Okay, I've got to manage you. Give me another thing that we can do to normalize.
I think we need to be more proactive. We need to go to the United States. We need to lobby harder. At the moment...
I've got to manage you, and give me a third
one. A third one is that we might need to stop and say, has our foreign policy been as inward-looking, as selfish for South Africa as we would like it to be? And is that a positive for us? There are some policy stances and some actions that we have taken that we did not need to take.
Yeah. And we overstepped over...
Exactly. In fact, it's not policy. It's the way we have acted in a manner that...
wasn't necessary.
That wasn't necessary. Yeah. If I do something that...
Okay, no, I've got to manage you.
Yeah, okay.
This guy's hard. It's like getting a cat in a wheelbarrow with a hose pipe
is easier. I'm used to being on the other side.
I know. This is cool. in my next life, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be hard.
This question is sort of for both of us, and we've got no more than a couple of minutes. The observations that I made about savings investment, there's nothing new in that. Agreed. Itumeleng Moses says this. And what is it that the private sector in South Africa could have done differently? I've got some things that jump out immediately. This is my terrain. Maybe I can have a go at it quickly. And you fill in some voids. There's a couple of things that put wind into South Africa's face in achieving financial inclusion, elevating savings. Thing one, staggering financial illiteracy. That we simply don't understand as a society the basic principles of finance and economics, financial illiteracy. The second is that the higher inequality in a society, the higher it feeds consumption and conspicuous consumption. So we actually have sort of the evil at our door of inequality. And then systems that historically have been oligopolized and expensive, that might be a little bit of a pointy stick. And perhaps the last would be my a perennial complaint that if you want to get money to buy a flat screen television, easy. If you want to get money to build a business, very, very hard. Others?
No, I think you said it all. Also, we've run out of time.
How's this guy? Right.
No, I do think you've said it all.
So
really.
You've got 7 seconds. Itumeleng Moses says, I'm puzzled Justice didn't say anything about Mkwanazi.
Oh no! I mean, there's nothing to say.
You didn't say nothing to say.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that there's nothing to say.
Minus 6 seconds.
Can I say the nicest thing about what's happening is that it's all out there. I mean, we have the KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner saying, "I'm going to tell you what's going on," and we're seeing it in Parliament at the Madlanga Commission. On television. I mean, I'm now complaining, can I get some other news except this? But if you ever, there's a lot that we complain about that's wrong with our country. But to the point you were making about
Peter's point again.
Yes,
yeah.
Again, it's a powerful, powerful thing that in this country, you can have the most powerful people. Even President Ramaphosa may testify before the commission, before Parliament, and be held to account. And I think that is a wonderful, brilliant thing that you rarely ever see anywhere else in the world. And I love that. I think that's great.
Thank you.